Welcome back to Keep Betting, the YouTube channel made for you, the sports bettor. I am CC, and we're going to jump into today websites you can use to become a better sports bettor, things that you can look at and help you in doing your due diligence for sports betting. So before I go in, let me explain that first off, I've been trying to make this video like 3 times, and for some reason the editing software in my new studio, I guess it's just how I have everything set up, but it is really struggling. I've been trying to edit this video for like almost an entire day. It just won't happen. There's so many bugs. So this is going to be raw, uncut, so it might be a little long. I'm not sure. Try not to make too many hiccups, but let's just get started. So the first thing I want to note before talking about websites and numbers and stats that you can find on all these games that you're going to be betting is understand that these numbers are known by books. So like, let's say you have a team's points per game, you know they run a fast tempo, it's known, it's baked into the line. If somebody's hurt, it's just like public news. Like if you see on ESPN LeBron is hurt, you can't just go bet against the Lakers because LeBron is hurt. It is baked into these lines, and you have to understand how good bookmakers are at what they do. And I think that is a really important part to understanding where you can find edges in sports betting. But with that said, I'll give you a couple websites that you can use to be a better sports bettor. I think that the first and the most important thing to understand is looking at charts, just understanding where the market is moving. This is MaddoxSports.com. I'll put all links that I talk about in the description of this video. But simply, Maddox is just an odds screen. So you can see, for example here, Iowa opened up at 11. Bookmaker has it at 11 still. Pinnacle has it 12, 11.5, 12 throughout. So if you're going to bet Iowa, get the 11, get the best number possible, and you're going to succeed more often than not if you buy something for the cheapest price possible. At least you're going to lose the least amount possible if you do lose. So understanding how to read odds screens is a really important thing. And though it's not second to second, it's not Don Best by any means. It's completely free. So I think that is a really good tool for most beginners. Next, we're going to go into just a generalized stats website. So like if you want to scrape stuff to an Excel file, this is teamrankings.com. You can do this for basically any sport. I'm going to talk about basketball today because basketball is coming up, but it can be used for basically any sport, as you can see at the top of the screen. So Team Rankings just has basically every stat that you can look for, generalized stats. So I'm not going to talk too much about it. You can see that I have a lot of these clicked, but it is a good website to scrape information from and put into an Excel file if you are into that kind of stuff, or if you just want to look at how many points a game a team averages. I don't know. So Team Rankings, another good useful tool to have in your belt. Next is Haslametrics. Hasla is a college basketball modeling website. Hasla is actually pretty prominent on Twitter. He talks a good bit to people, so thought it would be a good shout out to him. He has a really good website, so check it out. It gives you basically all information that you could want from offensive, defensive, fingerprint standpoint. You can see it has free throw percentages, their efficiencies, ratings, 3-point ratings. Like it has basically all you can need. There is a simulator, so you could do Gonzaga on a neutral court versus basically anybody. So as you can see, if they were to play Alabama on a neutral court, Hasla says that they would be an 11-point favorite. Again, this isn't the end-all be-all. Don't take anything from a single site with too much weight. Do your own due diligence. But it's a good tool to have. So if you go down, you can see what he expects the results to be from every game. And is he right? Probably not. But it's a good checks and balances to see if what you're doing, it's the same information as what he does. And yeah, use it with a grain of salt. Do as you please. Next website we have is Bart Torvik. So Bart Torvik is another modeler, and I actually like this website a lot. I think that he is pretty accurate on most of his assumptions and predictions. So it's another free website, and in short, you can just see where he has teams listed in the power polls. You can see their projected records, all this good information, and then if you go click a team's name itself, I don't have this loaded up, but okay, so if you click team's name itself, you can see all the information. You can see the players, what he thinks the weight of each player is. There's not a lot of information because the season hasn't started, but you could go through 2008 if you wanted to. I'm not going to do it because I don't have any of it loaded. I really don't feel like having this all screw up as it has multiple times in the last 24 hours. So you can see he thinks that, who are we on, Ohio State, it's going to be a 14.5 point favorite versus Akron, essentially, and just keep going. You get the gist. As the season progresses, the bottom becomes fairly useful in player stats. If you can get information on injury reports and you can see that Kyle Young isn't going to play and he is the second biggest, what is this? It's some stat that that Torvik made himself, I believe. But if you can see that he's out and you can beat the market to this idea, then it becomes helpful to know what each player is worth, basically. Moving right along to a very similar website that most of you probably know about, that is KenPom.com. KenPom is a paid website. I believe, I'm not entirely sure on this, but I believe it's $20. But they give you so much information, and I have no justification or proof to this, but I believe that KenPom has a pretty major effect on how the market is shaped early in the season. My example that I always use, and shout out to Big 3 for 3 on Twitter, is he found that Loyola Marymount last year, I believe, they played like two really fast-paced teams in a row to start the season. And so their tempo rating on KenPom was really high. Like it seemed like they were a high-tempo team, but they're just not. It was due to the fact of the teams that they had played. And so KenPom had this team who isn't fast-paced by any means, set as a fast-paced team, and so their totals continue to be really high. And I know Big 3 hit them basically like every single day to the under, and he told me about it, and I started hitting them as well. They did fairly well until KenPom adjusted. Now, is this because KenPom had the adjusted rank or tempo as slow or as fast and hadn't adjusted correctly? Maybe. Again, I'm not entirely sure how much weight they put on KenPom's word, but I believe it's a good bit. So similar to Bart Torvik, you can click an Ohio State and you can see what they believe the projected score is going to be. You can see the adjusted offensive, defensive efficiencies, tempos, all this good information, all super helpful when trying to do your own due diligence on a team. And though I say that books have the same information you have and don't take numbers with a grain of salt, look how many college basketball teams there are. So yes, they do. And if you're looking at Gonzaga versus Michigan, I agree, like the numbers that you were looking at probably mean basically nothing because that number is going to be perfect. They know how much money is going to be on this game, and so the line is going to be made great. But if you can find little ounces of value in the 358 teams that there are going to be discrepancies like the Loyola Marymount situation I told you about, or maybe San Jose State just is a little worse than they have rated. And these are small points that I believe you can find edges and value in throughout the season, especially in college basketball. It's just there's so many teams in college basketball, so many games daily that I think that the market can't keep up fully. And so you can find edges if you feel like doing the dirty work. So that is KenPom. And then the final one that I'm going to note, I have to plug my own Discord, obviously, is my Discord. The link will be in the description as along with all of the other links, just so that you can have this. I'm not saying that my Discord is the end-all be-all by any means. Do your own due diligence, but I think that what we've made is pretty great. So I give all the information that I get. I get a significant amount of information due to like injury reports, just knowing people throughout colleges, and that gives us a pretty large edge in most college sports, I feel like, and it is proven time and time again, I believe. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'll post them in the description of how we've done through college sports. I just have connections that most people don't have, and so it makes it easier for me to beat college markets. As well as I post my model projections for all sports. This is college football week 10, so you can go and look. If you have an opinion on a game, you can see what I think about the game. So if I didn't bet on it in particular, you can still see where my numbers have that game at. And so I think that it's a useful tool. Again, it's just a tool. I don't recommend you follow anybody without doing your own due diligence. It is your money. And so put your money where you believe it's going to win. It's cool to have people's opinions. And that's what this Discord is. As you can see, we talk sports on literally a minute-to-minute basis. And yeah, I think it's great, but that's enough self-promotion. Let's get this video over with so we can get back to watching some college football. So those are the websites that I'm not going to edit it. It's one take. All right. So those are the websites that I believe you could use to become a better sports bettor, especially in college basketball overall this year. And just in general, understanding the idea that numbers aren't everything and most are baked into the lines. So So that's all I got for you today. If you enjoy this kind of content, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button so I know that you enjoy this kind of content. Basketball is in 4 days. I'm ready to hit the ground running. I hope you are too, and let's make some money.